Welcome back to another exciting edition of Subs in 15. I am your host today, Ryan Gumm. I'm here with Zach Combest, Abby Hooven, and Derek Daniel. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yep.
What you guys?
Yeah,
Solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
yeah. We're slugging our way to the end of this semester. It's what was dead week, now not dead week, to our dismay. But we've only got one more episode left. Next week, Zach Combest in his final farewell episode gets to host, and it'll be bittersweet day next week. So if you have enjoyed our beloved editor-in-chief while his time here, tune in next week. But in the meantime, we have NBA action, hence why Miss Hooven is here, the sports editor for the Eastern Progress. Yep. We love having Abby.
Yep.
All right, so getting into the thick of it. The Grizzlies and Celtics both had game 2 last night, both even their series. What do you guys think from both of those?
I'll kick it off. I was really surprised that the Celtics bounced back in the way they did because game 1 the Bucks just absolutely manhandled them, and then you come back for game 2 and the Celtics manhandled the Bucks. So I don't know what happened in the Celtics locker room, or was it just Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown going off? Is that what they need every game to win? Or, was it Giannis having an off day?
I would say a mixture of your first two. I would say just Coach Udoka has more than proven himself as a quality coach in this league, right? Like they start off slow, they make their adjustments, he gets the squad he wants, and now they are not only one of the best defensive teams, but as we've said the last few weeks to a month even, they're very good in the two-way. They're good. They have the stars to light it up against anybody, as we saw in the last series, and they're good enough defensively to stop anybody, or at least limit. And I think game 1, I think they just got caught off guard. I think they know, I've been saying for a long time, they are my favorite right now to come out of the East. And I think that a lot of people have jumped on that bandwagon. And I think maybe they were overlooking the Bucks a little bit, especially because the Bucks are without Chris Middleton, and he probably will be the entire series. So game 1, that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like Giannis played, there's never an above average for Giannis, but he played at a level that will be hard to match. And I feel like the Celtics were overlooking the Bucks a little bit. And now we see what it looks like without Chris Middleton, what the Celtics really will look like when they're prepared for this type of series.
Yeah, I think too, it tells you a lot if the Celtics has 4 or 5 guys that are playing well. I mean, Grant Williams, 21 points, Jaylen Brown, 30. Mm-hmm. When some of those guys produce like that, and it's not just on Jason Tatum's shoulders the whole game, they're a whole different team. So if they can do that again for the next game, have 4 or 5 people score over 20 points, I mean, they're going to win again in a blowout. So I had the Celtics winning that series.
What I found interesting is the Bucks went 3 of 18 from 3, and the Celtics went 20 of 43. Mm-hmm. It's hard to win games when you're shooting 3 of 18 from 3. And then you've got Jaylen Brown. He went 6 of 10. Jason Tatum went 5 of 10 from behind the arc. So there's not much you can do at that point.
Yeah, the Celtics out-rebounded, out-assist. They had the same amount of blocks, had 6 more steals, 10 to 4. It's just on every facet of that you can have a team be successful. The Celtics had it over the Bucks in game 2.
Yeah, I want to go back to my point of Giannis having an off night. I just meant from game 1 to game 2, because in fairness to him, he still had 28 of the 86 points, which is 33% of the points.
Yeah, so pretty good.
Yeah, so I think without Chris Middleton, you need to find that next guy, right?
Yeah.
Where you have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Giannis and who?
Who's it going to be?
Who's your
Drew
next
Holiday
guy?
is great. But he's not a number 2. Who's going to be that guy to shoot 3 of 18? That's the Chris Middleton effect right there. Mm-hmm. So Wes Matthews, is he going to step up? No.
Need him to.
I mean, he won't. I mean, what? Bobby Portis? Is that going to be your next guy?
Grayson Allen.
Yeah, that man got
Grayson
crossed up.
Allen.
He got crossed up by Jaylen Brown. But yeah, it's a fun series. I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope the games get kind of close, because blowouts, the series is fun, but 2 blowouts going opposite directions isn't really the most entertaining.
I mean, they got Serge Ibaka on the bench.
I'm
just saying.
He peaked when he was at OKC.
2 minutes or 2.
Yeah, that man, that's going to be the difference maker.
But let's move on to the Grizzlies and Warriors. John Morant, absolute beast, 47 points. Talking a little smack, too, to Curry after the game, I saw, kind of saying, what's up? This is what I'm about here. I mean, he has swagger about him, but he produces. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I love it.
It's easy to talk the talk, but he's got the action to back it up, unlike half these players who are just barking for no reason. He's putting up 47. He outscores the Warriors at the end of the game 13-12. I mean,
Abby's out here throwing flame at some
Exactly.
players.
I would
I
have.
want to know who in particular is like.
Well, I think, personally in his mind, he's probably like, this should be, 2-0, right? Because, he missed that layup at the end of the game in game one to, for the Warriors to take it at 117 to 116. So he's like, we should be up 2-0 going to, San Francisco. So, like, I think he's kind of like came back for game two, like, all right, I have to prove why we're here. Like we've kind of been saying they're not used to this. They, they might falter here. But I think Jaw's come ready to play.
Oh, definitely. I think what made this game sway in the way of the Grizzlies was just the physicality. Abby actually texted me last night, was like, are you watching this game? And I was like, yeah, Alan. And she goes, it's physical.
Listen, I've never seen more guys either get poked in the eye or hit in the head or just accidentally elbowed in my life until that game.
Yeah, Gary Payton fractured
Fractures
his elbow,
elbow.
having MRIs. Dylan Brooks ejected subsequently because of that. I mean, Brooks only played 3 minutes, had donuts across the board because of that, which you would think would have a lot more of an effect. We've talked about how deep this Grizzlies team they have been all year. But Dylan Brooks, I think he's averaging 18 a game, goes out, doesn't really do much, and this team wins. I mean, Jaw, like we talked about, his 47 is nuts. Other guys, we had 3 other guys outside of Jaw that had double digits. Sorry, you had Zaire Williams go for 14, Brandon Clark for 10, and JJJ for 12. So, I mean, if this series stays physical, the Grizz will win. But here's the deal, though. I think these first 2 games, what we've seen, this is primarily the effect of being at home. And the fact they dropped one of those, regardless of how close it was, I think that seals. I've said the whole time I think that this is going to be Golden State's to lose. I said in 4 or 5. I might push it to 6 now because of how well the Grizz have played in games 1 and 2. But game 3 will be the tell-all for how this series goes. Because if the Grizzlies come out and wet the bed in Golden State in game 3, they don't win game 4, and this series is probably over in 5, maybe 6, just because of how well they played home.
How big of a issue do you think it is that, like, for the most part, Draymond's been taken out of the game for both these games? Game 1 got ejected, right? Game 2, he gets hurt in the first quarter, comes back, but he only had 6 points for the game, even though he played 32 minutes. So, like, for me, he's just been an absolute non-factor. Where, like, game 1, yes, they pulled it out, but it was really close. And then game 2, I mean, it was 5 points. It's a little more comfortable than 1, but not very much. So, like, do you think when we get back to San Francisco, Draymond becomes more of a factor, or is it, he's just in his role?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's more just in his role right now. I mean, you have to really work on Curry and Klay Thompson to really produce anything. I mean, he could go out here and score 20. Will he do anything for the team, though? I don't know. I mean, if he stays in the middle, gets those rebounds, do his role, I think they'll be fine.
See, what's weird about this matchup, too, is that usually you can point to somebody that Draymond can stop and that, like hinder the other team, like, tremendously. But this Grizzlies team, who do you have Draymond, like, guard that he can legit stop? Because I promise you, Ja is blowing by him every time. Ja's just too quick, too explosive, right? So who else on this roster is he going to guard that's going to shut them down? Because they're so deep, as we said. Like, okay, fine, throw him on Jaren Jackson Jr. Dylan Brooks, when he actually plays, is going to go off for 20. You got Zaire Williams coming off the bench. He's going to have 20. Like there's so many people that regardless of how well he plays offensively, they're not going to stop. He's not going to be able to stop anybody. So I think even if he is in the game, non-ejection, non-getting hurt, I don't think he's much of a factor anyway. Because who's he going to stop? Not that he's not a great defensive player. He is. But, like, there's just so many weapons that a guy like Draymond is, like...
You put him on Xavier Tillman?
Yeah, yes, he's going to limit whoever, but there's always going to be somebody else that's going to be going off that he just can't be on.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I agree with that. But also, too, instead of the Splash Brothers, they're called the Brick Brothers. I like that. I like that.
It's fitting.
It is fitting.
Let's give
5
some
of
respect,
23.
man. Like, these guys are the way they are for a reason.
They are, but they struggled, though.
They did.
Combined,
Yeah.
it's 5 for 23 from 3.
The fact that they're going away from Jordan Poole is shocking.
Yep.
Like it's just like, not that I don't want to say that his volume is less, but you can tell the calls, like the coaching calls, are not going his way anymore. Like the first series, I mean, he was going off. Coach Kerr was calling play after play for him. We're not seeing that anymore. So I really, at least not as much. So I really hope if the Warriors want to turn this around, they have to give Jordan Poole the ball at some point. Like feed the hot hand. It's like Billy Donovan with Kobe White a few weeks ago. Like feed that hot hand or else, and we saw it. Warriors got bit.
All right, I got a question for you all. So I would say for like the last 15 years, every NBA discussion, LeBron comes up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems like you got Giannis, Luka, Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Has LeBron fallen from the spotlight any, in your opinion, or do you think it's just he's not in the playoffs, so we're not talking about him?
I think that.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even when his team was 3 games under the 8th seed, right? Like they were -5. Yeah, they were still talking about LeBron. The Lakers were still getting primetime ESPN, ABC, Showtime games, because he's LeBron. The only reason, I get where you're coming from, but it's just because he's sitting at home.
Yeah. I mean, he could be on the worst team in the NBA. He could be on the Orlando Magic, and they'll still talk about him.
They'll still have them on
They'll still have him on
They'll still have him
primetime
on
ESPN. Just because it's LeBron, his history.
Yeah.
That's the difference maker there. He could be on the worst teams, play the worst seasons of his life, but
He had
he
one
would
of the
still
best
be
seasons too.
Yeah, he had a good one with
that's the
Lakers.
thing. Like Abby, what did you take away from this weird season for LeBron?
When you first looked at the team, you thought, wow, they're going to go far, just because individually they're all stars. But they just could not get that team chemistry. And, LeBron's been able to carry teams before, but I think this Lakers team was a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And then you've got AD constantly going in and out. I don't think he ever was able to find, a good team rhythm. Yes, individually, he can score the most points on his team day in, day out. Not a problem. But it's kind of like with Luka in this series. You got to have some help at some point to be able to take the load off, especially when you're late 30s, going on 20 seasons. I mean, you can't carry the load forever, and I think it's kind of getting to him. But there's no stopping his elite level still.
So what did the Lakers do, in your opinion, to help him?
Well, get rid of some of these veterans that are doing nothing. That's just
Dwight
me.
Howard.
Yeah.
Just trade them away. Get some
Russ.
younger guys. Get some explosive guys that LeBron can feed off of and kind of mentor along the way. So that way, whenever LeBron does hang up his jersey, he's got some young guys coming in who he's kind of mentored, kind of like Kobe, just kind of bringing them along, making sure they know exactly what they're doing, being a good professional too.
I agree with that.
So I think a good segue here, moving LeBron, we're talking about teams making adjustments. There's some trade rumors going on. First off, the Timberwolves are looking to deal D'Angelo Russell, and in other rumors, it's apparently said to happen that Rudy Gobert at some point is going to do a me or him type of conversation with the front office in Utah against Donovan Mitchell. So either trade me or trade him. Now, Rudy Gobert has gone to Twitter, because, Twitter.
That's where you go.
And,
That's where you go
and
for
has
stuff.
said, they just spread rumors and blah, 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 blah. But this is not the first time we've heard this, and so we'll see, time will tell. But of those two things, Wolves trading D'Lo, the issues in Utah, which one do you think is more impactful to the landscape of the NBA?
I'm going to go with the Utah situation because you have Donovan Mitchell, arguably one of the best, top 10 players in the NBA. Rudy Gobert, he's good, but if I was the Jazz, I'd be like, you're out the door. We're keeping Donovan Mitchell because he is way more talented. Yeah, it's nice to have a big man, but I'd rather get some other big man from another team, to fill in. So, I think that's dumb. He needs to pack his bags.
Go back to France.
Go back to France.
Well, the thing is the way the NBA is going right now is they're going towards shooting threes, spreading the floor, getting quicker offense going. Rudy Gobert really doesn't fit into that style. And if I have to pick between a big man who's just going to stand under a basket and a guy like Donovan Mitchell who fits the scheme of the NBA perfectly, it's kind of obvious which guy I would choose. Now, of course, Rudy Gobert is going to continue to be a defensive presence wherever he goes, but I don't think he's going to be that guy in Utah like he used to be. And I don't think he likes that. And I've been saying for months, it's going to come down to either him or me. And I'm not surprised that it's now coming up.
Yeah. Derek, you have any thoughts on this?
I don't know. For me, I don't know why, if you're the Timberwolves, you would trade D'Lo, right? Because, I mean, Cat needs help. Mm-hmm. And, I think
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. He can only him and Cat can only take this team so far. You need that third guy that will like not be the superstar, but is like good enough to. I mean, like at one point, D'Angelo Russell, or it's D'Angelo Russell, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
D-Lo,
I don't know why I got that wrong. But like at one point, he was the star with the Nets, and then he went to the Warriors, had not a great season, and then he went to Timberwolves. Like he's been good in his career, so like I don't understand why you would try and like trade away a part of the core that got you to the playoffs.
Right. And so to go back to the question, you all said Utah. I actually disagree. I think that the issues in Minnesota and this trade looking to shop around D'Lo, I think that that's actually more impactful because when you take a look at this Timberwolves roster, I mean, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns are everything that the Jazz are with Donovan Mitchell and Gobert, but because of Cat's ability to spread the floor and score, that makes them so much more dangerous. If each team had the exact same depth, the Wolves would, I think, blow by the Jazz. So I feel like, and the reason to answer your question about D'Lo, he's just not produced. He's been hurt. They're paying him a huge contract, and like when he did play this year, this is in the postseason, but he only averaged 12 points. You know, like this is supposed to be your third guy. Like this is supposed to be the dude. Like, and I know it's kind of hard because, like you said, he was the star in Brooklyn before Brooklyn was good, but he was leading that team. They were fighting for a playoff spot, and he was averaging like 25. Then he gets traded to the Warriors, and doesn't really play, doesn't really find his footing, kind of is hurt. Gets dealt to Minnesota, and now all of a sudden these two guys that are younger than you are leading this team, and like, what are you supposed to do? It's like it's hard to find, especially going from one situation to the other in different roles. It's hard to find your rhythm. But if you're gonna pay him that much, I get it. But here's the thing, D'Lo, like as a Bulls fan, I wouldn't mind getting D'Lo. Like he's somebody that could easily like now, obviously, I don't want to replace Lonzo Ball, and there's no way D'Lo's gonna do what Levine has been doing. Like they're around the same, so it's tough, and the systems are different. So it would be weird, and I would like to see that. If we can't keep Levine, I'd like, maybe we do something to get D'Lo, because better D'Lo than nothing. But I just think this whole deal is just them trying to build that roster around two stars that actually got them to the postseason, that actually was competitive against a team that we just said if they play well in Game 3, the Grizzlies, who knows what they could be, and all of a sudden now you are in a much better position. They're deep. They have like Patrick Beverley, Jade McDaniels, Malik Beasley are perfect like role players, perfect fillers that they're built kind of similar to in terms of depth, not like with their stars, but similar to the Suns, who have just a plethora of guys that could start on certain teams, are great at filling roles, doing what they're supposed to do. The Wolves kind of have that. So if they get better defensively, they get deeper because of this and actually get some help, the Wolves jump the Jazz right now. Pre-whatever move, like whatever they were last year, the Wolves are better. So that's why I think the Wolves are better. Like that is more impactful depending on what they can do.
I would try and trade them to like Sacramento. Get some of these younger guys.
Who are you getting from Sacramento?
You can get like De'Aaron Fox, or you can get Davion Mitchell. What, you don't like any of these
guys? Only guy that you could get is De'Aaron, and De'Aaron's not getting dealt. Like, I would be shocked.
I mean, yeah, he just got the Supermax with them, but like, not Donovan, but Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Oh, he's good.
He will. I think he would produce more than D'Angelo produced.
Oh, I don't know. That's tough. Like, he's a defensive guy, Like, and he's not really, I don't think he's
Well, yeah, but you don't need him to score because Anthony and Cat are going to score.
Yeah, but you still need like a third dude. You might not need another 20-point scorer, but you still need a guy that can get 15.
Okay, well then get Davion Mitchell and Harrison Barnes for D'Lo.
Maybe. It just depends. Like that.
I'm just saying, like, you look at Sacramento, they're a very young team, right? Because
they're a dumpster fire.
Well, yes, they're a dumpster fire, but they're a very young team. I'm assuming they're trying to build for the future.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe you go, like, take some of their young guys and then be like, here, follow these two. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, Abby, any thoughts on the landscape of the NBA?
I mean, you pretty much said it all. It's just a matter of getting guys going, and I mean, I don't see why D'Angelo Russell would need to be traded, but if that's what they so choose, and the Timberwolves end up tanking, not like super bad, but like if they go further down in quality than when they were, I think it would kind of bite him in the butt almost, and I just don't want to see that.
Yeah, I think that's it. Are we're done with this segment? All right. Yeah, I forgot to set a timer. So
Hold on, I have one thing. So I probably won't be on next week. So as a parting
We'll
gift,
bring you back.
we're sure.
We'll bring you back.
In case I don't make it next week, I have a parting gift for Ryan, so that we'll always remember me being on the podcast. Good times.
Please tell me it's a name tag.
no, wait. I think I know what this is. Oh
I
no.
I think he might know what it is.
no, I know exactly what this is. I hate you all.
Is it a cup?
It's a grapefruit.
Yes.
Oh man.
So,
Yes.
The lore of Subs in 15 is just so expansive. Staying right here, I love this. Yeah.
So
Thank
now you always remember the
Oh,
lovely
that's coming back
grapefruit
next week.
league.
Whether it's rotted or not, it's
I'm
staying.
throwing it in the
Yeah.
fridge.
Staying right
this
here.
is awesome.
It's the
Wow.
new mascot.
Yeah, it is the new.
Oh, we're changing the
Put
logo.
googly
Yeah,
eyes on
it's
it.
gonna be a grapefruit with 15 in the middle.
Oh
Oh, this
yes.
is great.
gonna
Yeah.
be
So
great.
for those that don't know, you could see me get astronomically angry at the Grapefruit League and what is it, like baseball
MLB,
preseason?
yeah.
MLB.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't want to revisit this. This is great. Thank you very much. We'll have you on
course.
next week if you so
Listen,
choose.
I'm buying you a cactus next week.
I didn't have time to get both. I had to pick one, and I chose
I'm going to
grapefruit.
Oh, wait, let's see. You can probably get them at Lowe's, like
I'm
those little
gonna be
baby
on the
cactuses.
outside,
Bam.
Like, listen, I'm not even gonna be hosting. I'm gonna be sitting right where you are, and you're gonna see a grapefruit and a cactus.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah. All right.
It's the only way to end.
You know what I'm gonna do for next season's Subs in 15? I'm gonna take a picture and frame it of this, and I'm gonna have it
Please,
on the desk.
you with the
Yes.
grapefruit,
Yes, yes,
like a
yeah.
trophy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That was a
That's
great
awesome.
ending to our first segment,
Yeah.
and hopefully Abby will be back next week. But if not, this
Fingers
is a
crossed.
phenomenal end to an era. Hopefully
It
that's
looks like
right.
a giant lemon.
It is huge. Like
At first, I didn't recognize it at the store because I don't buy grapefruits.
Yeah, who
So,
would?
for those, yeah. So, yeah, grapefruit.
big as your head.
It's huge. And this is what they decided to throw out of a plane.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a softball. What are you talking?
All right, I'm not getting back into this. We're moving on. Our next segment, joined by our grapefruit, as you just saw given by Abby. It's phenomenal. Is the NFL. NFL draft just concluded, and a bunch of NFL news goes to break. So here we go. Reactions to the NFL draft. I want to know who you guys felt had the best draft class this year.
Oof, that's tough. I mean, the Jets had a pretty good one. Picking up Sauce Gardner, that was a good one, I think. I don't know about the Jags, though, with the first pick.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed things about it. Like, it's a good one. It's
I think it was
pointless.
kind
It
of one of
was-
those where, like Ryan said, it's such of like, he's just so talented. You have to get him.
Mm-hmm.
To where like maybe you didn't need him, but like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
It's
I
just-
don't think they needed him.
No, it's just odd because like this draft, this is one of the most entertaining drafts I've ever been like seen in my life. Just because like one team could have valued one guy in the top 10 and the next team could have valued him in the 4th round. So it was a lot of fun to see. I didn't think, I don't know. I felt like the number one pick, like I said, should have gone Kevon or Thibodeau. I about said Looney. It should have been Thibodeau. But speaking of that, I do have who I think has the best draft class, and
I
think
do too.
It's the Giants. It's the
Giants.
Giants.
You think so?
Yes, it's the Giants without a shadow of a doubt because their first 3 picks, I think, are phenomenal.
Especially Evan Neal from Alabama.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, because like Evan Neal was another guy that could have gone number 1, right? So they had, I don't remember exactly which picks. I think the Giants had like 3 and 10,
Hold on, I'm
something
finding
similar to that, and
it. They had 5 and 7.
5 and 7.
and
Okay,
7.
so they go and they get Kevon Thibodeau, who, like I said, I felt like was the best player in this draft. I really do. Like I still believe that. I think he's the most explosive. He's the most talented. And I feel like he suffered from a team that in Oregon that underperformed as a team. Not so much him, but then they get Evan Neal, the OT from Bama, who, like I said, could have been a number 1 pick in himself. Phenomenal 2 picks. Phenomenal. Like the one thing that you do as a rebuilding team, you want to build your lines, both offense and defense. They get 2 players that can streamline both in the same draft, 2 picks apart. Phenomenal. Then they go and they get some help for old Danny Dimes. They get Kentucky's own Wan'Dale Robinson, who is just a firecracker at receiver, just absolutely can kickstart an offense in our bowl game, UK's bowl game against Iowa. Needed 80 yards on the final drive. Wandale Robinson gave you four receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown to win the game. So like that's the kind of guy this guy is. So you get, and not to mention there's so many more. They also helped out their line again in the third round with I can't pronounce his last name, but his name is Joshua Ezudu from North Carolina. So it's like just every pick they had, it just felt like that it was pinpoint. There was a reason for it, and they needed that spot. So the Giants by far and away, in my opinion, had the best draft class.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But for me, I think it was the Lions, actually. I think
Interesting.
You go out and you get Aiden Hutchinson, arguably the best defender in the class.
Mm-hmm.
You go out and get Jameson Williams, I don't even think it's a discussion, best receiver in the class.
There's some Ohio State receivers that probably disagree with you, but that's okay.
Well,
Bama, though.
Did they win a title? No.
Wait. Neither did Bama. What are you talking about?
Listen, he's won a title, though. Ohio State has not. So I think, so they go out and get the best receiver in the class, and then defensively, they just stacked up. I mean, they go out and get Josh Paschal, Kirby Joseph, Malcolm Rodriguez, James Houston. Like, out of their 8 picks, whatever it was, I can't remember. 5 or 6 of them were all defense. So they were like, all right, we know what we need to do.
Well, Coach Campbell's a defensive-minded coach, too.
Yeah.
Is he not?
He is.
How about your say?
So, I mean, obviously, like, they were like, we need to work on this. And then you go out and you get Jared Goff some weapons, right? You get him Jameson Williams, and you get him James Mitchell from Virginia Tech. He's a tight end. So, I'm not too sure about the tight end pick, considering you've got one of the top 5 already in the league. But you know what? I mean, he's just got more weapons to throw to now. So I think I give them the best because they knew what they needed. They needed good defense. They go out and get a bunch of defensive guys.
Yeah. I think another worthy mention in this list, the Ravens, dude. The Ravens had a phenomenal draft class. Obviously, their big headline was that they traded away Hollywood Brown, which was huge news, shocking even, because they really didn't get much back. They only got a few picks, a third and something else.
Yeah, 25th pick.
Yeah. So, which
Iowa.
ended up being a great pick in itself, because they stole, in my opinion, Kyle Hamilton. I think something about the combine makes me, it just agitates me, because these guys, like they dropped in draft stock because they're not as fast on the 40. But this man, Kyle Hamilton, he's deceptively fast. I think he's got great coverage as a safety. He was the best safety in the nation, in my opinion, last season. So I think that this pick at 14 for the Ravens was phenomenal. Just a perfect pick. And then, like you said, they traded for Hollywood Brown for the 25th pick. And they get Tyler Linderbaum, a center from Iowa, which line help is always needed. He's a phenomenal talent. And anything that can keep Lamar somewhat healthy is just better. So, yeah, and then they continue to go out and draft very, very well, in my opinion. So, yeah, those 3 or 4 that we've named, Jets, Giants, Lions, and Ravens, I think all of them can be argued as the best. I will still say the Giants, but, yeah, definite quality discussion.
I really like the Steelers. Finally got Kenny Pickett. Smart.
Oh, that was the pick of the draft.
That was a good one.
As soon
I'm
as
glad.
it happened, Ryan texted me. He's like, I love this pick.
Yep.
I'm like,
And I've said this on the show going
great
into the
pick.
draft that's what they should have done. That's what I would have done.
Yep.
And all you've heard was Malik Willis or Desmond Riddler, and
Malik fell.
did fall. And we'll get to him in a minute because we have some news about him. But I want to stick to Kenny Pickett. I love that the Steelers stuck it to the small hands debate. I love that they played the smart move. They got the most NFL ready guy, a guy that can already run. All of them could run, but a guy that has proven. He changed the rule with one game. This man had he made a move, and the next week that move was banned. This guy, he was one of the most successful Pittsburgh Panther quarterbacks ever. He had one of the greatest seasons in ACC play. Like, he was just fun to watch. And so I love his talent. He's got good size, great arm strength. He can run the ball. Everything that the Steelers were wanting post Big Ben. Yeah, and like I said, he's most NFL ready. I think I said NBA ready earlier. And he's the most NFL ready. And so I love this pick, and I really I hate Pittsburgh. We have long since established I'm a Bengals fan through and through. I love this pick.
Yep, I do too.
I'm going to tell you, I think the worst draft class for me, the Bears.
Really?
They get absolutely zero help for Justin Fields. They get him an O-line, all right? They go out and get they get a guy from Southern Utah at 168. They get another guard at 186. They get a center at 207. Another guard at 226. They went and got him a line. All right, we'll see how good they do. He has no weapons.
Yeah.
Who does he throw the ball to?
Well, I mean, Pringle, who is arrested.
Okay, you get Pringle.
Who's arrested,
Man's
yeah.
arrested. You trade away Robinson. All right. Who do you have left? David Montgomery? Because you went out and you drafted Velus Jones from Tennessee at 71th overall.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of the guy. Don't know how good he's going to be. Probably not very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't get any other offensive player other than a line until your 203rd pick, which is a Baylor running back.
Yeah, I think to add credence to what you're saying, the Bears didn't even have a first-round pick. Their
They
first
did
pick
have
came in the
first
second round.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's
it hurt him.
rough go about it for Chicago fans.
Yeah.
But I think what surprised me the most is literally right before the draft, A.J. Brown gets dealt. Man goes to Philly.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a perfect segue into talking about the Titans here, because the A.J. Brown, I don't know what led to this. I'm sure it was something with money. He has said that there's no bad blood because obviously after he got dealt, he made bank. Like 4-year, 5-year, $100 million, something crazy.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, Philadelphia finessed. This is phenomenal for Philadelphia. If you're the Cowboys, you're shaking because legit, it's a great pickup. The Giants got better. The Eagles got better.
Yep.
And so the Cowboys stayed, in my mind, they just stayed even keel and they haven't improved or declined. But talking about the Titans here, Ryan Tannehill has said a couple things post-draft.
Oh gosh.
He was shocked by the A.J. Brown trade, which who wouldn't be? But then, as you named him earlier, Malik Willis falls all the way to the 3rd, gets picked up by Tennessee. And Ryan Tannehill had some interesting things to say in his presser. He said, I'm not here to teach this guy. I'm not here to mentor him. We're in a competition. If he learned from me, good. But I'm not here to teach him anything. What do you guys take from that?
I mean, pretty rough. I get it's competition, but you're pros now. It's the NFL. It's different if it was on the college level. I totally get that. Like a new kid comes in, new recruit. Like it's going to be competition. But NFL-wise, you've been in the league for so long now. You're old as heck. Teach this young kid the way to do it. You'll probably still keep the job, but just like Tom Brady would do his younger quarterbacks, or Aaron Rodgers did with Tim Boyle in Green Bay.
Yeah, but is
gotta-
Tannehill like that guy? I mean, Brady and Rodgers are like, you're not benching those two.
Yeah.
Tannehill has been benched in his career, so
Right.
I think
Is he intimidated then by Malik that he's gonna be that good?
Probably that, but also I don't know where his pride got hurt, because this man is like you just said, he's 33, he'll be 34 in July, right? He's not like he's losing his job this year. He might even have the job next year. So this man will be 35, 36 when he leaves. That is like ancient in the NFL, right? For a guy like Ryan Tannehill, who's barely an above average quarterback on a run-based team. You know what I mean? Like in a system not designated for him, he's still just average. So it's like, he's older, been in the league a while, he's made his money, he's got a good contract, right? Like I don't have it pulled up, so I can't tell you the exact numbers, but this man gets paid a pretty good amount. He's hard, like I think that's the thing, is that like people no one expects Malik Willis to start right away. So it's not like his job is in jeopardy yet. But at the end of the day, by the time it is, he's going to be 34, 35, 36. What do you have to lose? Why are you angry? Stop being a jerk.
Yep.
Like you look like literally. Listen,
It's true.
Alex Smith. I'm saying jerk in placement for another word that I want to use. Alex Smith is a prime example. This man was around the same age, maybe just a tiny bit older, when the Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes. He knew he wasn't going to start right away, but he also knew that was his replacement. Alex Smith, a pro's pro, teaches him everything he knew. And now look, I'm not saying that Malik Willis is going to be Patrick Mahomes, but think about the impact that Alex Smith will have forever placed on Patrick Mahomes for being that mentor. You know what I mean? And I know Alex Smith and Ryan Tannehill are way different people. Ryan Tannehill's not the quarterback Alex Smith ever was. But at the end of the day, it's just like, dude, your time is almost up anyway. Like have some pride in the fact that think about who taught you. Think about who mentored you, wherever that was. You don't want to pass that on? Like, what's wrong with you?
his contract's through 2024.
All right, so yeah, okay, fine. He has 2 years.
Yeah.
And then what? The Titans will probably just let him go. That's genuinely
Yeah.
probably what'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Malik Willis, apparently, his arm is so strong that he might make an impact right away too. So I kind of hope
I would like
benched.
it.
I hope he gets benched just because of this.
Yeah.
Like there's no need to be this way. Like I get what you're saying. Like this is like it's a league and it's a business, but no one's saying that he's coming for your job right away. Like stop being so hurt. Like your
Yeah.
ego can take a back seat. You're not a good quarterback. Like relax.
Some other teams I want to talk about. Ryan's rant.
I have one every
The
episode.
Bengals. Let's mention them before the segment ends. I mean, first round pick, 31st overall, Braxton Hill from Michigan.
Isn't it Drax Hill?
Or is it Draxton?
I think
Oh, yeah,
it's
Draxton.
Yeah,
Draxton
it got me
Hill.
too. It
Draxton.
got me too. Because I said Braxton to somebody else I was talking to. Yeah.
From Michigan, safety.
Great pick.
You think it's great?
I think the Bengals silently had a phenomenal draft class. Like I'm not gonna say it was in the top echelon that we named. Like it's not an A, but it is like a B.
The NFL game an A-.
See,
Oh,
an
okay.
A-minus, I'll
A-minus?
take an
That's
A-minus.
pretty good.
Think about it. The one thing that they had other than O-line that they have already addressed was secondary. And they go out, they get Drax, Then they go out and they get the guy from Toledo late in the safety. They got a few guys that could play that just to bolster young talent that's affordable in the one space that they need help in. I love it. I love it so much.
Here's my thing with like the grading of NFL drafts.
If it's Pro Football Focus, then you need to go to
No.
somewhere else because they're
No.
awful.
No,
Yeah.
it's terrible because the year Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner were drafted to the Seahawks, they got an F.
Is that from Pro Football Focus, right? Or who's that from? Was that from the
That was
NFL?
from the NFL.
Oh, the NFL.
Jeez.
Then that's bad from the NFL. But yeah,
Give
PFF
Russ
is,
and Bobby Wagner an F.
PFF is just not a good forum. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm just every time I see them, I just am assuming that they're saying something to get views rather than actually having a take on sports. We got 20 seconds here. I do want to talk about a signing and a suspension, as you guys have probably heard about. D-Hop suspended for the first 6 games of next season due to a PED violation.
I think he's appealing it.
He is, but it
Yeah.
still sucks because it just doesn't look good for the best receiver in the league to have a PED violation. And the other one,
good.
Saints are expected to sign, if they haven't already, maybe by the time this is out, the deal's been closed. Tyrann Mathieu,
Yeah,
headed back home.
I saw the deal break. I don't know if he's
think
signed the contract yet, but I'm pretty sure it's like a agreed upon
Yep,
thing.
he agreed to 3-year deal,
Okay, so yeah, final.
$33
yeah,
million.
Big. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love that for the Saints.
That's a good one.
A great pickup for the Saints. Yeah, and I think that's it for our NFL segment. We'll be right back. Here we are in our third segment.
The grapefruit segment.
The grapefruit segment.
As we should call it from now on.
Subs and 15. We
Subs and
have
grapefruit.
Dusty Baker has some big news. Zach, you
Yep.
want to tell us what happened?
He got his 2000th to win, 2000 in his career. I mean, it's Dusty. He's been around a long time,
Oh yeah.
so I'm not surprised finally. But your Astros has to be exciting.
Yeah, it was nice to get Dusty a 2000 win. He was the 12th manager to ever get 2000, and he's first black manager to ever get 2000. So it's
That's
big
good.
news for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big day.
We're coming back a little bit. We kind of fell, and then Astros are back on the climb. But we always start slow, so we'll be fine. Never as slow as the Reds, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, Dusty, he's been in the league for 29 years. I mean, he's been at the Reds, Astros, a bunch of other
Wasn't he with
places.
the Braves at one point?
I think the Braves. Let's see, the Giants, Cubs, Reds, Nationals, and Astros.
Oh, I don't know what I'm
He might have played for the Braves
He might have, maybe played for
I
them.
because he played for like 11 years.
Yeah,
then he's been
he played a
coaching
long
forever.
time.
Right.
72 years old as well.
That's ridiculous.
He's getting up there
What a guy.
and
Good for
still
him,
out
yeah.
there coaching. Yeah, pretty
You gotta
good.
think about it, even if you win 100 games a year, that's 20 years in coaching.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Good for him.
So that's pretty awesome there. And his iconic toothpick. If you ever see a picture of him, he's always has his
He's
toothpick.
got a toothpick. He's got black, like, leather gloves.
Yep.
And then he's got, like, wristbands up both arms.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
Iconic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting stuff. Let's also move on to baseball power rankings. They got some new ones come out. Right now, of course, Yankees leading the league right now in wins. The poor Reds, they have not won a game. Since we talked to you last week, they have not won a game. They're
3-20,
still,
right?
yeah, three
Yeah.
games they have won. Worst in the league, of course. They're struggling all
It's-
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
What's
you
new?
know.
What's new in baseball? It's the Reds still suck.
Here's my thing. I saw the other day their worst season ever. I want to say they were like 61 and 121, right? Like that's bad in itself.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're on pace. I think it said they were on pace to win like 20 something games.
Yep.
I think
22
it's
games.
22.
22 games and lose 140. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Like that can't happen.
No.
You will win more than 22 games, right?
Yeah.
I sure hope so. 'Cause you got to
But-
think the season, you go from May, June, July, you got August, you got games, and you're only going to win 22. You're at 3 games right now.
I mean,
That's
if
terrible.
you win 3 games a month, I mean, like in the front, right? Like players, yes, you can put the blame on them, right? But I'm looking at the front office, going like, why did you give away everyone? You gave away Sonny Gray, you gave away Kyle Farmer, you gave away Castellanos, right?
Yep.
You gave away Suarez. You gave literally every person that had any talent other than Joey Votto away, and you brought in Hunter Green.
Joey Votto's been playing like trash too. Like let's not ignore that fact. The
Well,
one
yeah.
guy that we didn't trade has been playing. Like what's his batting average? Like 142 right now.
I mean,
Like
Joey
it's
Votto?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculously low. Like
terrible.
It's atrocious. We can't hit, can't play defense, and our pitching is meh. So it's it's bad.
And now Joey Votto's on the COVID list.
Joey Votto's batting a
So
122.
it's,
Oh, it's dropped
122.
since I last saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
we'll blame COVID on it.
Yeah. Okay.
He got COVID. Now he's on the IL list, injury list because of that.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's going to be out for a while, which, I mean,
Well, and I think the other problem, right, is your rookie of the year from last year, Jonathan India, has only played in 11 of your 23 games.
Right.
So that's a problem in itself. But even in those games he's played in, he's not doing very good. He's only batting 295.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's
yeah,
just it's
there's a
not good.
lot of issues. Because, I mean, between Votto being on injury list, Jake Fraley is also a good arm. He's on the injury list, knee injury. Quite a few other people. Castellano, he's also hurt with the shoulder injury. So, I mean, it's just they're banged up every position, from batting to pitchers, everybody. It's just terrible. So, I mean, are they going to make moves from AAA? Bring some kids up and be like, hey, everybody else is hurt. It's up to you now. Here's the keys.
they definitely need to. I mean, they have to do something, right? It's one thing to start slow. I get it. You know, a slow start would be like the Cubs, who are 9-14, or if you look over at the American League, you know, maybe Detroit, who's 7-14. You are 3-20, all right, and your run differential is more than double anyone else in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You're minus 68. Why can you not score? Right? Like, do something. I don't know what else to say other than do something,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you can't hit a home run, whatever. Find a way to get on. Walk, bunt.
Start stealing signals, doing something.
I mean, let's bang some trash cans. I did
Just-
look. I saw an interview the other day with Joe West, who's like one of the most iconic umpires ever, and he was like, "Yeah, we all knew the Astros were stealing." He's like, "But everybody else was stealing too. They just used technology to do it." So
yeah.
It was easier to catch.
Yeah,
So-
it's bad. I mean, the Reds right now, they have 12 players, position players that are active, 14 pitchers. I mean, 12 active players. That's not many for a team. Because you got to think of who's already out there on the field. And besides that, you don't have much else to relieve them.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, usually you want a decent amount of players in your dugout, you know, to pinch hit for your pitchers. Well, actually, I guess you got the DH now, so you don't
You
even
have
do
yeah.
that.
I love the DH rule.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm
but
all for
still,
that.
Like,
You want the pitchers to
I don't
be
know what
hitting?
to say, man. Like, they're so bad, it's just not even funny anymore. Like, it was funny when they were like 3-10, because, you know, like, that's,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
another year for the Reds, but they're 3-20.
it's rough.
You haven't won in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good segue because we need to stop talking bad about the Reds because there's nothing more that we can do. I guarantee our conversation is not hurting them at all because they already feel as bad as you're going to at 3-20.
Yes.
So in other news, I'm looking at the power rankings right here. The list of the top 5. It goes Mets, Blue Jays, Yankees, Dodgers, and Angels. Interesting here to see the Dodgers. I hate to call them so low on the rankings, but with as much star power as they have, to see them outside of the top 3 is a little weird to me. I want you guys to explain what is going on in LA.
I mean, they've dropped. 15-7 overall. They're still first in their, National League West, so that's good.
Yeah.
Besides that, batting average is kind of low for the team. They're 11th in the country right now, .235. Injuries is also hurting them as well. David Price is out. Quite a few other people are out with injuries. Maybe that's a factor to it.
And I think those first 3 teams you named, what was it, the Mets, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays?
Mm-hmm. Blue Jays are 2.
Blue Jays are 2. Mm-hmm. Those 3 are just playing out of their minds right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting. The Blue Jays are, 15-10?
Yes.
It's weird. You know what I mean? Like you see them at 15-10 at 2, and then the Dodgers at 15-7 at 4. I know, obviously, it's different. Did the Blue Jays just start off slow? Like, what's been the turnaround so early in the season?
For the Blue Jays, they came out and I think they won every series they played for the first month, which is pretty good. But obviously you drop a game here or there. They're playing the Yankees right now, and they've lost back-to-back to the Yankees, which is why it makes sense for the Yankees to be. Are they 1? Or the Mets?
Yankees.
The Mets are 1.
Mets are 1. Yankees are up there.
3.
Okay, so in my opinion, that should probably flip to where the Yankees are 2, Blue Jays are 3, just based off this previous game. But the Blue Jays, they've just got really good. They are what the Reds lack. They can hit the ball. They've got decent pitching, so they're just an offensive powerhouse, kind of like the Yankees. And then in the Mets, they're just off to a really hot start. I don't think it'll last, but
No, it's the Mets. They're always going to fall. I feel like it's always eventually going to happen. They're going to do well certain points in the season, and then by the end of the year, they're going to be down there with the Reds. Maybe not as low as the Reds, but they're going to be down there because, it's not going to look too good. Yeah, DeGrom is out with an injury, too, to shoulder. He's their best pitcher they have. When he gets back, they can continue to row. But the last 10, they're 7-3, which is pretty good. But also, you got Philly, that's not too far there. They're 5-5 in the last 10. The Braves have been terrible.
shouldn't have got rid of Freddie.
They shouldn't have got rid of Freddie. That's true. They're 4-6 in the last 10, 11-15 overall. It's just not looking good.
My biggest surprise, all right, the Diamondbacks are making me eat my words because I said last week, I was like, look, they're nothing to worry about. You don't even that's a 4-horse race over in the NL West.
Yep.
Since then, they've gone I think they're 9-4. So they've caught right back up. They're only 4 games back to where before they were almost 10 games back. So they're catching up to everybody else. The Reds are falling.
Reds are 30th on the power rankings for those that are.
Good job, Reds.
That is last.
Yeah, it is
That
dead
is
last.
dead last.
So here's my other question. Okay, so now we've talked about the worst of the worst, talked about the best of the best so far in this power rankings. Now I want to hear sleepers that you guys can see making a run in this year because I actually have one. I know I'm not the biggest guy with baseball, but
okay,
I'm trying, and I
Cleveland?
watched. No,
It's not.
no, it is actually the Padres.
Okay.
Oh.
I
Okay.
watched them in their last series against the Reds. They were in Cincinnati. And listen, man, Manny Machado's playing out of his mind.
He is. He's the stats leader in 4 of the 5 batting
Manny
categories.
Machado has 4 home runs, 16 RBI at the very beginning of the season. He's playing very well. But then when you look around this team, you got a lot of guys that have a lot of RBIs already. Around Manny Machado with 16, you got, I cannot pronounce his name, Profar, who's got 15 RBI. Then you've got Eric Hosmer, who's got 14. And around those, you got Profar has 5 home runs and Hosmer has 3. You see guys like this on this roster, and like I said, I know I'm not the most intuitive with baseball, but they just seem to have a lot of guys that can fill up the stat sheet. They got decent pitching. I feel like if this is a team that the Dodgers really need to watch out for because if they can get hot, who knows?
yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think I would put the Dodgers pitching rotation top 3.
Oh yeah,
Because you have Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, even though he's hurt right now. Blake Snell is arguably the best pitcher in the league right now, other than DeGrom.
well they're gonna be without Trevor Bauer for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Yes, Yu
That was-
Darvish is great. Don't get me wrong. Yu Darvish is awesome.
Let me put it this way: Bauer was another Reds guy.
That's true.
He was a Reds guy.
It doesn't matter though. Like okay, so fine. Trevor Bauer goes down. You still have Yu Darvish. Who else did you have? Who else did you name?
Well, that was for the Padres.
Or the Padres? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so you have Yu Darvish, you have Musgrove, you have Blake Snell.
Right. Well, I'm talking about. I was talking about the Dodgers.
Oh, the Dodgers.
Dodgers pitch because they lost Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
That's
Clayton
what I'm trying to
Kershaw.
say. Yeah, but he's.
He just got the strike leader record.
You have
He's
Kershaw.
great. Yeah, I know. But who else do they have? Is what I'm saying.
You have Walker Buehler. He's.
Good.
I don't want to say he's like an upcoming guy because he's 27 now, but he's still one of the younger guys in the league. He's really good. He's from Lexington. Shout out to Henry Clay for that one. Julio Urias. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. It's he's from Latin America, but he's really good. So they've got like 3 guys that they can go toe to toe with the Dodgers or the Padres. Sorry.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I think that would come down to more of like a bullpen. Which when you look at the Dodgers, they dealt Kenley Jansen, arguably the best closer in the league, to the Braves. We're seeing how that worked out for the Braves. Just saying, Freddie was in that deal. Man, we're dogging on everybody today.
We are.
I like it. I like it.
I'm trying to give a more happy, positive light on things.
I gotcha. My team, though, the sleeper is the Twins. They have jumped a bunch.
They've
Won the
played
last
really
9 out of 10 games.
Yeah.
First in the AL Central, 15-9 overall. I mean, they got Sonny Gray, which, of course, another Reds pitcher that we just gave away for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an excellent pitcher for them. I really like what they have. And plus the Twins. I feel like every year they're just middle-of-the-road kind of team. Nobody really talks about them. This year they're actually doing something, and they're looking good. Yeah,
No
especially-
Twins.
Yeah.
I think for that one it'll come down between the Twins and the Guardians because the Guardians are pretty good. But the
looking
Guardians are on a little bit of a slide right now. 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah.
But I think they'll bounce back pretty good. So
I mean, besides that, in the AL Central, the White Sox, they're the White Sox. It's nothing really there. Kansas City usually is really good, so I'm surprised that they're struggling. They're 3 in the last 7 they've won, 8-14 right now. Detroit,
all they have is Miggy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Miguel Cabrera is the only thing that is keeping Detroit.
Relevant.
Yep.
Yes.
Didn't he get his 3,000th hit?
Yeah, he got his 3,000th hit this couple weeks ago.
He's the only thing in Detroit. It's bad. Yeah.
Detroit
and
sports, man.
they got Tucker Barnhart from the Reds as well. Another Reds guy that was decent. That was a good catcher. We're just mentioning all the Reds that we've given away.
All right, here's my question: who do you think finishes better, the Detroit Tigers in baseball or the Detroit Lions in football?
Oh.
That's actually kind of tough.
Yeah.
Because like.
Anyway,
Because the Lions, they didn't have a bad draft class. I believe in Campbell, so they might not be.
I'm saying the Lions finish better than the Tigers.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the Lions. I think they'll actually they won't be fighting for a playoff spot, but I think they'll be fighting to stay 500. It's pretty good for them. Like that's a promising year. So yeah, then they move on from old boy under center, and then we'll see what happens.
There we go.
And I think that's the end of our segment, as you heard the alarm. Yep, we'll be moving on to college sports up next. Welcome back. Final segment on our next to last episode of Subs in 15. We have college hoops and college football today. I know we're adding football a little early, but we got some big news we want to talk. But first, we're going to talk about transfer portal news. You want to hit up the first big major break?
I mean, it's a big thing. Memphis transfer, Monty Bates, come to Louisville.
Yeah, commits.
It's not 100%. He hasn't, tweeted anything, but all the sources are saying that he's locked in with Kenny Payne. It's going to happen, which is a huge pickup for Louisville.
Kenny Payne doing some work already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's honestly like impressive the way that man recruits.
Yep.
Back on that grind.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially with Jay Lucas leaving Kentucky to go to Duke, Kenny Payne might become the best recruiter in the state.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think Louisville has more NIL offers or opportunities than Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not necessarily, but
It just
it's
depends.
not it's not a
Yeah.
big margin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends. And they're definitely close. But here's the other thing too. it's definitely worth the excitement talking about Imani Bates. All I'm saying is that Memphis team got a lot better without him. So I would be a little bit worried because, like, if he's the locker room cancer, if he's a ball hog, like, you know,
yeah,
maybe this might work against, but he's such a good talent and you don't really know. Maybe it was a Penny Hardaway issue and he just didn't fit in that system rather than a Imani Bates. So that one's more than just excitement. That one's intriguing.
it is.
It's very well. I'd like to see how Kenny Payne makes that work, especially as a new head coach or like head coach. Yeah. In other news, guy we've talked about a little bit, Baylor Shearman from the South Dakota Jackrabbits, team that lit it up. We talked about them a lot during the NCAA tournament. Baylor Shearman transferring to Creighton of all places, had interest from Kentucky, Duke, Arkansas,
yeah.
a lot
Big
of
ones.
high-end programs. And he goes to Creighton, and he specifically says, not only is he from Nebraska, but he liked Coach McDermott's style. He liked his system. Big thing why he didn't want to go to Kentucky was because he specifically referenced Kellen Grady, did not want to be in a Kellen Grady role like last year. And then immediately Kentucky backs out. So interesting here. I mean, Creighton's always one of those teams that's like between a 9 and a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. You get a guy like Baylor Shearman, and I think that puts them on what usually a Villanova is if they can continue to play their style and recruit around him.
Well, who do you think's the bigger get here? Do you think Baylor Shearman to Creighton's bigger or Imani Bates to Louisville?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say probably to Shearman to Creighton just because Louisville's still like a fringe blue blood. And Creighton, they don't usually get, even if this is a fifth-year transfer, they don't usually get high-end guys like this. They're usually like building their guys from scratch, essentially. So it's like, I think in terms of the program, this is huge, bigger for Creighton. But Louisville fans, and you can probably attest to this, you're thinking finally we're back. Creighton fans are thinking this is new for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
I have a question for you, Ryan.
Okay.
So it was like third or fourth episode. We were talking about Louisville, and Zach and I were all on the Kenny Payne train.
Yeah.
And you said it was not a good hire.
If I said it depended on the assistants that they hired.
Is it a good hire?
I still think it's to be seen. Like I just said about Imani Bates, like, listen, man, any hire is a good hire until hindsight. So it's like,
Okay.
I'm not going to change my pick. I will say it's looking a lot better. Like, I will be the first to admit I'm wrong if I am. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, what? Like I'm not going to make excuses. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And like I said, I respect Kenny Payne, and I will apologize to Kenny Payne like he listens to our show. But I'll apologize to him, like myself on the show. But like, listen. He can get as many players as he wants, but if he can't coach, he can't coach.
Louisville's about to go 10-21 on Ryan's like, see,
Yeah,
told you.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'll call you to tell you that, like, look, I forgot. But
Zach's in California, like, in a new job. And Ryan's like, see.
I
see
got
what
you. I
happened.
told you a year ago.
Yeah.
But no, like, it's looking a lot better. I mean, right now, sure, you could say it's a good hire. But he's not coached a game yet. Not in that head coach's chair. So, yeah, I would like to see what happens first before I admit my wrongness, I guess is a way to put it. But yeah, I stick to my point.
I mean, he has the pieces around him now. Kenny Payne. You got Nolan Smith. Is it a couple more assistant coaches? I think they have a good core people. Even though he doesn't have the head coaching experience, the other people around him have that experience.
All right.
I think it's a good balance.
You don't have experience until you do.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you have to have a head coaching experience to be a good head coach. Like that's not what I'm saying. There's a reason that he was an assistant for as long as he was, and whether that was his choice or not, we'll see. Remains to be seen. Other recruitment news. Janai Broom from Moorhead commits to Auburn. That was another guy that had Kentucky interest. He had interest from all over the nation. Commits to Bruce Pearl. I think his final two were Auburn and Florida, and he ditches
pretty good
Todd
schools.
Gold's new program for Bruce Pearl and Baylor. I just spit everywhere.
Bruce Pearl is
Sorry.
slowly building an OVC powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is like people talk about like here's your recruiting pool. It's the OVC for Bruce Pearl.
Right.
He's like, let them go there, see what they do, and we'll take them.
Right.
Which it's not a bad,
No.
not a bad methodology of doing it, but also like
That is also if you have the Jabari Smiths around the OVC All-Star team to round it out.
yeah.
We've talked about this before as I fondle a grapefruit. It's still on our desk for those listening on podcasts. It's still here now. I'm messing around with it. We talked about Mac McMahon at LSU about how we talked about him getting a bunch of OVC guys, and you can't win in the SEC with the OVC All-Star team. And I think the same thing could be said about Bruce Pearl. The man has to get the Jabari Smiths. He has to get those 4 or 5 stars that make an SEC team. Jeremiah Broom and Wendell Green are great. But if they don't have a Jabari Smith, they're going to be right where Matt McMahon is in LSU.
I wonder how them two will connect, though, playing on 2 rival teams in the OVC, now in the same team at Auburn. I wonder how they would do.
Probably a strong connection there.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think they know each other more?
I think there might be some bad blood there, though.
It might be,
I promise you, after him playing at Auburn for a year, he probably didn't even remember those games against Moorhead.
No, that's true,
Janiah might, though.
Janiah will remember, but at the end of the day, you're both.
There was some
you're on the same team now.
There was some heated, battles between them two over the, that year.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it'll be cool though. I mean, it's nice that they're, reuniting on the same team this time
right.
Because they're both really good players. So
while we're on the SEC, hot take: Arkansas wins the SEC this year.
Oh, I agree.
Don't even know if it's a hot take, but Arkansas wins the
Eric
SEC.
Musselman. I've said every time we bring up Arkansas, I think the first statement every time is I love Eric Musselman, and I do because I've said this before too. Him at Nevada was primetime TV. I loved watching it. When he got hired to the SEC, I got terrified because he's that good of a coach, and you're seeing it. You're watching it unfold. And I would pick Kentucky sliding, man. I would say it's between Auburn and Arkansas for next year, depending on who Auburn recruits. Yeah, like for sure. And if Todd Golden does what Todd Golden did at San Francisco, Florida's gonna be tough too.
I would give it to Tennessee before I give it to Auburn. Even though Auburn was good this past season, I would give it to
those 3
Rick
for
Barnes.
sure. I think you can make the argument any of those 3 can win. And then, like I said, you've got guys like new head coaches at LSU and Florida. I don't think LSU will be anywhere this year, but in a few years, they could be tough. Matt McMahon's a great coach. Todd Golden at Florida. And the list goes on.
Where do we stand with Don Staley going to the men's team? Is that still?
I like it.
And
I want it to be a thing.
Yeah.
I want it to happen for sure. That'd be awesome. The first female head coach in the men's division. That'd be awesome. And she is the most qualified to do it. I love this. She's so make it. But it's not gonna happen. They South Carolina already hired. I don't remember who they hired. Because I remember seeing it, but now I'm blanking. It is Lamont Paris. That's who they hired.
okay.
Lamont Paris. I'm pretty sure he was at Chattanooga.
Oh well, I mean, at least you got a tournament coach.
Oh yeah. Let me make sure. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He coached at Chattanooga, and so yeah, he's a great hire. It's a decent hire. I shouldn't say great. It's pretty good. But yeah, other news. Here we go. This is the part I was really wanting to get to because we discussed NIL last week and about the positives and negatives of it. And then this happens, okay? So we've seen a lot of Miami NIL issues specifically. So we saw Nigel Pack last week get whatever he got, a new car and close to...
What, 800,000 or something?
It was something ridiculous.
Yeah,
close to $1 million in NIL. Isaiah Wong, the star of that hurricane attack last year that made that run in the NCAA tournament, apparently got mad because he wanted his NIL deal to reflect his position on the team as the star. And he threatened to transfer unless he got more NIL money. And apparently the same people that funded Nigel Pack's NIL deal had a meeting with him, and now he's not transferring. I don't know if there's been any breaking news, anything more. I don't know if he's making more money. But this feels wrong. I love NIL, and I think it should stay. There has to be some sort of regulation. This cannot be a thing. And there's more of this coming up, hence why we're talking about college football. But Wong specifically, what do you guys think?
I mean, I think it's kind of I just kind of want to jump back to Shearman. He asked Kentucky, do I get NIL money? And Kentucky was like, we're not guaranteeing you anything. So I think NIL is becoming a big part of that, where Wong's give me more money. And then Miami was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So I think it just depends school to school on who's offering guarantees versus who's not. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think if Miami's willing to offer, be like, hey, you want more money? Sure. We'll find it somewhere.
Yeah.
As long as it's legitimate and they're not just
NIL should not be a recruiting tool. It shouldn't be.
But it is.
I know it's going to be, but it shouldn't be. You should go to where you feel the most comfortable, where you like the system, where it's home, and then if you get an NIL deal after that, that's fine. You know what I mean? But what's going to end up happening is we're going to alienate these middle ground schools, the non-Power 5. How is SMU supposed to, how are they supposed to compete with a USC? Speaking of USC, jumping over to college football now. Ooh, it's getting spicy between Pittsburgh and USC. So, Jordan Addison, one of the best receivers in college football. This guy he's amazing. Let me just put it that way, okay? This guy is fantastic. Let me pull up his stats real quick because I have them.
Like, while you're pulling that up, I just want who's anonymous frog on the dock?
I don't know. I saw it earlier. And I
Is that
ignored it.
Zach?
We have a
sign back
random
into my
person in our
account.
Google Doc. But anyway, so back to Addison. Okay, Jordan Addison in 2021 had over 1,500 receiving yards,
Pretty good.
17 touchdowns,
Sorry.
with a long of 67 yards.
He's average.
That's fine.
Bro,
yeah.
that is the best receiver in college football right now.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make an argument for whoever, whatever, but he's one of them. This guy comes back to Pittsburgh. Everyone's all excited about it as the anonymous frog leaves. But everyone's all excited about it. And then you start hearing rumors about him transferring. All of a sudden, Pittsburgh head coach, what's his name? I'm looking for it. It's in here somewhere. Pat Narduzzi angrily
Yeah.
calls Lincoln Riley saying, leave him alone. Tampering. All of a sudden, Addison hits the transfer portal. It's been reported that he's going to make upwards of $3 million+ in an NIL deal at either Texas or USC. Other schools are entering the mix. This is a problem. This is a huge problem. Tampering, number one. Tampering in itself at any level, at any league, is probably the most atrocious thing ever. Can you imagine you have a player that's been with you for so long, all of a sudden a random coach calls him up and is like, yo, I'll pay you money. Like, this is so wrong on so many levels. You know what I mean? Like, Lincoln Riley, and I understand why he left, because Oklahoma's going to the SEC, the Pac-12's an easier conference, but not only that, USC is it's literally Hollywood. Like, that is Hollywood. You get all the money you want. So, as you see, he's building a powerhouse that will be a force to reckon with for the rest of his coaching career. But still, like, this doesn't seem right.
I think my first question would be, did Lincoln Riley go to these companies and be like, hey, give us the money so I can do this? Or did he go to Addison and be like, if you're going to play for me, I'll do this for you?
Probably a mixture. He probably had the money lined up and then said, if you want more, I'll go get more.
Yeah.
And I would say the boosters are part of it too. I would say the boosters are probably funneling money into these companies
Definitely.
as NIL, and that's how. So there needs to be regulation. I don't know how you're going to regulate it, but
It's gonna be a mess.
this should be illegal to the highest extent. Players should be able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. That's not being argued here. What is being argued is the fact that we have USC, like here. I talked about Power 5 versus non-Power 5. We're talking about two high-end Power 5 conferences, or teams in two different conferences, and one can't compete with the other. They're both Power 5. Pittsburgh cannot compete with USC or Texas. This is ridiculous.
It'd be like Vandy trying to compete with like Alabama in football.
Yeah, like this is gonna be atrocious. Like, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna have this upper echelon, and what I can see happening. You know how we have FCS and FBS? There's gonna be a third one that's made. Like, there's gonna be a third division for football, just because there's gonna be such a high differential, and teams like Kentucky, Vanderbilt, teams like Oregon State, these like Oklahoma State, these middle of the pack teams that are good. I mean, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Oregon State aren't good, but we all fit in the same. You know
They're
what I'm
more
saying?
than an FBS.
Those B level FBS squads, they'll end up just making their own. You know what I mean? Like, the NCAA is already in hot water, and teams are threatening to leave anyway.
Yeah, but like then you think about it, and like Jackson State just got the number 1 recruit in the nation.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but how long is he going to stay there?
I mean, it's Deion Sanders. He'll probably stay there all 3 years.
As long as you got Deion, he's going to stay.
I don't know, man. I mean, Deion might get him money, but I say 1 year, and then you get Lincoln Riley, give him one phone call, and I think he's gone.
So you tell me that USC is about to become the new Alabama?
Yep.
Or the new Clemson?
Yep.
Just because they can start dishing
Have
out
the
the
money.
dough?
Yep. NIL makes a huge difference, and like, I'm shocked that A&M is the way it is right now with Jimbo Fisher. He says it's not NIL. He is a liar. We're gonna see a few teams monopolize college football because of this.
How long do you think it takes? 4 years? 5 years?
5.
5?
I think in
Yeah,
4 or 5
or
years you
less,
have
yeah.
Alabama, you have USC, and then Texas. Whoever else can throw out that money and is willing to throw out that money,
Any of the big schools with tons of donors, yep.
and then it's over. And then
And players going to be either pay me or I'm out. I'm going somewhere else. That's what it's going to be like.
It will ruin the sport.
Maybe that's why Kentucky's starting to sell beer.
I mean,
Like, we need more money.
Yeah, legit though. But But like, what else are you supposed to do? This isn't even about invest money into your facilities and your coaches and and more recruiting money or for like scholarships. It's not even about that. Now it's about like exactly what you said earlier. You both are a school that I'm interested in as a 5-star athlete. You are mid-school number 1, but you're Power 5 and you're USC. I can love you as much as I want. I could say you're a perfect fit, you're a perfect size, like city. I love the coaching staff, the style. I'm going to play a lot. I'm going to get national TV, whatever. But Derek over there will just show me a money bag. It doesn't matter how much I play. It doesn't matter how much I like the university or the city. It don't matter because I'm getting all that money. And now you are irrelevant. You might as well be an FCS school. No disrespect to our FCS schools. They're awesome. We are one. But the point's made.
But yeah, so here's my point. What if, as good as you are, you're not proven, right? Yeah, high school, whatever. You're not proven at the college level. Do you have to go there to get to here? Like Addison did?
you do.
He went to Pitt.
But then that makes it even worse, in my opinion. Now all of a sudden we're just using other Power 5 schools as stepping stones to get to more money? Like what is that? Like that's
a lot of schools.
I mean, that's what the transfer portal was whenever it was invented, though.
For very few people. I strongly disagree with this. The transfer portal needs to be adjusted too, in my opinion. This is ridiculous. Like I'm not saying limit where when or where players can go. We got to do something. Like there has to be legit reason to transfer. You know what I mean? Like you can't. I don't think you should just be able to throw. You know what I mean?
What, like you play under so many minutes or like a coaching change? Are you saying something
Maybe
like that?
Something like that. I don't think it should be super strong like that, but like something similar, if that makes sense. Like because like once again, this is coming from me. Like I know I'm giving very vague answers because I don't know. I'm not trying to say here I know the answer, but there's got to be something. Someone somewhere has got to brainstorm something to fix both of these because we got kids leaving, ruining their lives, others making millions of dollars because they think that there's more money out there. You know what I mean? Like, and then you know what else this is hurting too? High school players that are trying to leave, those kind of tweeners, those 2 to 3 stars that don't really, like, they got some interest. Now all of a sudden, these teams that were interested are now just going after transfer portal players because there's more transfer portal players. Like, would I take this 3-star that I can develop and take years to, when he's a junior, he'll be great? Or would I take this guy that's already a junior, already been developed, and could be produced for me now, but he's 23?
Do we introduce trades in college?
No.
I think we start trading people.
Honestly, at this point,
We just start trading.
Steve Sarkisian is like, I'll give you Bryce. No, man. Like
trade you for him and some money. Like you're in the NFL.
I'll take a receiver and some money.
We need some trash. We need some cash compensation.
Yeah.
Like that's what I need. Yeah, I'm not against the NIL or the transfer portal. It needs to be fixed.
Just a little bit tweaking, yeah.
Like I know that this is just the beginning of it, and this is like these problems were to happen. This is a good thing. It's good that we're finding these problems so we can fix them. But if it doesn't get adjusted, oh man, college sports are ruined. Genuinely, like the fact that Isaiah Wong can go up to the Miami Jim Laurinega and be like, "Yo, either pay me or I'm out," in college is ridiculous. Yeah. Like that is it. That never thought I'd see the day. But yeah, I think that's it. That is all we have for today. Any final words, you two?
Not much. Got a Kentucky Derby coming up on Saturday. Oaks on Friday, which is going to be rained out probably. So check those out.
I'm buying the grapefruit name tag.
There we go. We're going to bring cactus in next week.
I know I probably said it once on the show. I can't remember if it was between or while we were recording. I'm going to take a picture of this, frame it, and that's going to be in front of me every week that we record.
Just put it on the wall right behind you.
That would be fun too.
Go.
That'd be fun too. It's going to be somewhere. The grapefruit stays.
We already got a nail there, so we'll just hang it.
The grapefruit stays. It is a prominent mascot of our show now, and we appreciate you watching.
Do I need to bring a belt too?
Yeah. Don't get any of the other things I said though. I actually cut that out.
I thought there was a sock.
No, it's an underwear, belt, and the thing that I edited out.
Oh,
you don't know about. But we're moving on to the end of the show now. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, buy yourself a grapefruit, share. Bye.